Right, good morning, everybody. Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Good night, or whatever it may be. So please do bear with me whilst I share the video. Right, I'm just gonna. I'm not being rude or anything. I'm just doing my utmost to make damn sure that this video gets as far and as wide as humanly possible. So hi, if you've all just joined me, so very good morning to you all. There we go. I really want to, so if possible, share this to my Twitter account. I think I'm signed in. There we go. Right. There we go. I'm all done and dusted there. So very good morning to you all. I'm just going to clear up a bit of confusion. About a quarter of an hour or so ago, somebody asked me where the link was, why I wasn't opening, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, Sara asked me the page. Let's get this up. For some reason, the page is not opening. It says waiting for Lord Richard Lawrence. Yes, I got it all set up ready, and then I put my video out on Instagram to tell you all about it. And so obviously, I had no idea that it would actually do that. Because I actually, well, I was going to do it at 11 and it's just turned 11 now. It might be a little bit later than 11. So that's what happens. So in the future, well, what I'll do is I'll get everything set up on the StreamYard and everything else. So that's basically the reason for that one. So anyway, let's get to the proper theme. Should you be sending your children back to school? Should you be sending them back to school in September? How do you actually feel about sending them back? Do you feel that they'll be safe from the coronavirus? Are you worried perhaps they might bring the virus home to you? Does you or anybody else at home have underlying health conditions, health issues, worries, or whatever it may be? Do you think that it's fair to fine parents for not sending their kids to school because they're worried about coronavirus? Do you perhaps maybe even think that school is a bit unnecessary? School doesn't suit absolutely every child. It really doesn't. It doesn't suit everybody. If I'm blatantly honest, actually, school didn't really suit me as such. It got better at the end of my school career when I was sort of like 14, 15. Well, I was 15, I think, 14 or 15, but things did sort of improve a little later on. But when I left school, things gone from bad to worse. I was basically dumped in the hospital, but that's a different story, and I'm getting off the subject here. So I'm going to have a look and see if there's any comments here. Yeah, well, it's all working now because it's because I set it up. You see, I'm sorry about the confusion, and so as long as you're there by 11, it'll be all right. I mean, yes, everyone apart from valuable key workers should stay off school. Well, I mean, that says quite a lot. So that's one person who's kind of a bit worried about it. And so your boys, will they be staying home even in September, Leanne? That's kind of what I really want to kind of know. Are you worried about sending them back in September? Because what they're doing is they're threatening to fine people if they don't send their kids in to school, which, I mean, I kind of think that's a bit OTT to actually fine you for going, no, I'm not sending them in. So they'll be even staying home in September as well. Is that what you're actually saying, Leanne? Or is it? And thank you for subscribing as well, Leanne. Very kind of you to do that. Well, yes, I mean, I agree. Damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So how are people to actually know, well, what to do? And so there we are. Well, yes, I mean, I agree. You know, I mean, they're basically they're just bullying. I kind of think it's either one or two ways. We could have done what Sweden did and perhaps not do the lockdown at all, with a few small sort of restrictions in place or whatever. But you can't sort of go, right, go back to school or you'll get a fine, because I think people probably keep their children away from school anyway. And I don't see that they'll be able to do much about it, to be honest. So there we are. I mean, and you also got to look at the kids' point of view. I mean, do they want to go back to school? That's the thing. If they really do want to go back to school, and there's nobody with underlying health, anxieties, or any issues whatsoever, if they really want to go back to school, then I'd say yes. So, I mean, brilliant, because it'll be smaller class sizes. But, I mean, I really do think that it's over the top to fine people just because they refuse to go. I mean, unfortunately, of course, I was always made to go, unless you were genuinely ill, of course, and then, of course, in which case you didn't. But there you are. But I can remember playing every single trick in the book that I could to actually get out of going to school. And if I really didn't want to go in, I'd phone the taxi service and say, you know, I mean, I'm off school today, all that sort of shit. And I'm not coming in, so don't worry about picking me up, sort of thing. So yeah, I've done that. I think once or twice, and said to my mum, you know, it's staff training day one Monday. I really didn't want to go and all that sort of stuff, and I actually wangled it because I remember putting a note under my mum's face and going, look, staff training today, and all that sort of stuff, and Tip-X'd it out and changed it a bit, and of course my mum's completely none the wiser. Got away with it, yeah. But there's another comment here. Well, yes, I agree. I agree with you, Leanne. We're not going to go into what you've got. It's a private matter. And I don't think you should even have to discuss it with the authorities. All you need to do is just say, I've got an underlying condition. If I get it, and my kids could end up without a mum. So, you know, fair enough. You know, I mean, honestly, and where do I buy shit? I don't buy shit. It comes out my arse. But yeah, so what do you think? Any more comments? So look, we give a shout out to Holly and Ryan. Holly Ryan, she hates school as well. Well, hi to you, Holly. Yes. I mean, it's all right if it's sort of more tailored to your needs, because the trouble is, you see, throughout the 80s when I was at school, it was literally maths, English, maths, English, maths, English, maths, English, all day long. Oh, God, fucking hell. There's another comment here. Yeah, it is a tricky one. There's lots of people have gone back to work and they're opening today. So, yes, pubs, shops are opening. So, there we go. But then again, of course, I don't think you can force people like Leanne to send their children back to school. In particular, if they've got an underlying health condition, what they say they've got an underlying health condition, whether they have or not, is immaterial, in my opinion. No fines, because people might go to school and then they refuse to comply with the rules, and then they'll just be sent home. So there we go. I mean, well, I'm not saying you should misbehave in any way. It's not good to do that. But then again, you know, if people really don't want to go, you'll get the odd selfish kid who goes into school. I've got coronavirus, and they'll say they got coronavirus, and they'll walk around the class, won't socially distance and all that sort of stuff, get too close to other people, the teacher, who might have underlying health conditions as well, or whatever. They'll misbehave, and then it'll be right, there's the door, sort of thing. But in my day, our teachers were extremely strict, and if you messed about in class, you were in trouble. Am I looking forward to pubs reopening? I'm kind of indifferent, really. But then again, of course, I do feel that the hospitality industry is very expensive, and they really do charge a lot of money for whether it be a meal or whatever, or a pint. It'll be about sort of between £5 and £10. No, over the top, guys. Maybe even more than that now, because I remember going into a pub and buying around the drinks. It was at least £5, but this is what, 20 years ago. So I can remember being 16 years old, and we went into a pub, Coca-Cola, please. And the guy said 70 pence. And I said, that's a bit excessive, really. So there we go. And hi to Sarah. Hope you are well. So there we are. Oh, you sticking your tongue out? Looks like you are. You're sticking your tongue out at me. Hopefully I'll see you for too much longer. It would be nice to meet up with you. So anybody else got any ideas, any comments? The main theme of today is, should you be sending your kids back to school? Do you want to send your kids back to school, or are you worried about it? Are your kids worried about it? More to the point, because I know kids have a lot of anxieties. I was one myself, of course, once. You're always, well, especially when you've got autism, you're always worried about things anyway. So there we are. I can remember I was always, all these things going around in my head, and and what if mum gets ill and all that sort of stuff, and terrible worries, and it's literally magnified 100-fold when you've got autism. So there we go. Yes, some people, they like being in school, and if there's no reason for them to stay off school, I knew that anyway, that she was back, because I read your Facebook post, so I know she is back at school. And I suppose smaller class sizes, she'll probably enjoy being back at school, and she'll enjoy the playground being nice, and I don't know, fewer kids in it, I suppose, because not all will send their kids back. So, but yes, But if people have health anxieties, then I don't think they should be forced to send their kids back to school. And I don't think they should be fining people for it, to be quite honest. I've always thought, when I was a boy, make school optional as opposed to being a legal requirement. But whether or not it should be up to the parents. If there's a parent home who can look after the kid who isn't in school or isn't going to school, then I think fair enough. If mum is at home to look after the kids, or if dad is at home to look after the kids, then I definitely don't think people should be forced to send their kids. So there we go. And we'll do a shout out to my son, who's also called. So hi to you, Mike. Hi to you. So you are back at school. So he's back at school. If he's enjoying being back at school, then that's brilliant in my mind. So long as none of you got health issues or whatever it might be, then fair enough. I think so. Anybody else got any ideas? Should you be sending your kids back to school? Do you want to send your kids back to school? Are you absolutely fed up of them being around the house all the time, being a bloody fucking nuisance, all that sort of stuff? Are you absolutely sick of them being around? I can quite see if Boot was on the other foot and I had kids, I probably want them out of the way for a while, at least. I've had this one before. What do you call a Spanish peeping Tom? Signor Willie. But yes, here we go. There's another one here from Sarah. Wish my son was allowed to go back to. He's doing my head in. Oh dear. I can understand that. Sarah. Us autistic people, we do. It used to drive my mum mad. When I was that sort of age, I don't know how old he is, sort of 8, 9 years old or whatever. But I can remember going on holiday back to Sweden with my parents when I was sort of 9 years old, going into the sea and all that sort of stuff. My mum didn't really like it, but I can remember. But there's another story, of course, jellyfish around there are absolutely rife. God. But to be a bit careful when bathing, sort of thing. So there we are. Anybody else got any ideas, any comments about the situation of fines? I think that fining people is a bit reckless, quite frankly. It's not going to get the economy going. It's going to cause more anxieties, more stress, etc., etc. Right, okay. Nicholas Malpass. My son, Connor Cartwright, needs to get up. Wake him up. Right. Come on, Connor. Get up. Come on. Get up. Get out of bed. Don't be so lazy. Get up. But I can remember when I was young, having to get up to go to school. Oh my God, I used to resent it. Because you had to be up at 7 in the morning, every morning, to get ready. And a lot of the time you'd still be in bed at 8. Mum would go absolutely mad. She really would. But yeah, I mean, it's over the top and it's silly because I think it might even backfire on them. So there we are. I mean, these things usually do. Because, well, if you were to make school optional, then you'll get a lot of the disruptive ones out of school, I think. And if you don't want to be there, then go. Please just go, sort of thing. And it shouldn't have to impact on all the class who wants to learn. So there we are. Why did I always go to Sweden? Well, we lived out there. We lived in Norway and Sweden when I was a boy. From when I was 1, we went to Sweden, and then we moved on to Norway when I was 3, and so I was 5 when I came back to England. So that was basically the way it was. We actually wanted to go back, sort of thing, which was really nice. So we were on the border between Norway and Sweden, so we could just drive over and go into Norway, which was good. We landed at Oslo airport, and there was a drive from Oslo, which is in Norway, to go over the bridge back into Sweden, sort of thing, which was really nice. I can remember we were given the keys to this little house that the landlord, it was our old landlord, he let us stay there for a couple of weeks. It was really, really nice. They were really, really nice people. So we absolutely had a whale of a time out there, which was really, really good. So, I mean, we didn't always go to Sweden, but we only went back once, which was kind of a bit of a shame, really. But there you go. But do I speak Swedish and Norwegian? Well, not really. No, I don't speak it, but it would have been nice actually to have probably have gone to a school, Norwegian school, perhaps learn the language. That would have been really interesting. And well, I kind of think that people should leave statues and things alone, really. I mean, I think it's a little bit over the top, because it's past their history, and it's, you know, we don't have slavery anymore. So I think it's a little bit sort of over the top. So there we are. But I think I'll leave you all now. If you haven't seen this video from the beginning, you can go back and look at it, because it is one of those where you can still see it at any time. So one thing I would ask a favour, please subscribe to my channel, and also please like and share this video as far and as wide as you possibly can. I want it to sit on all of your Facebooks and all of your Twitter accounts. So I wish you all the very best. 7-3, which is best wishes in amateur radio. So we might do another live tomorrow. I'm not sure, but take care, guys.